Happy today, boys and girls. My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell. And I'm making this to talk about the show last night. The conclusion I've come to is either I'm getting soft and all gooey about everything, because everything does feel good and gooey, and so bunnies and rainbows lately. It could be me, and I can easily blame that on granddaughter, and everybody would fall for it and love it. I can say granddaughter softened me and changed my whole view of everything. I could go that route. Or that band is just simply playing better music, whatever better means. And better's not the right word, but either that band, I don't know what's going on, but from the very first notes of Funkadelic last night, the energy and the preciseness and the intention and dedication of the music or direction, it was just deliberate, and it was like they were all together, and it was just deliberate. You could hear the girls singing. Elijah was on bass all night. The horns was just hitting. Mr. Clinton was doing some strange stuff, but that's okay. Mr. Hampton was doing some really strange stuff. Let me say again, I love his antics on stage. It was to the point I was just watching him. And it seems to me whenever he's in one of those moods or whatever he's doing, he was like fully animated yesterday too, that he plays his solos magnificently. It's like I knew it. I'm starting to figure out stuff. I'm like, since he doing all this stuff up on stage, I said, I know his solos are gonna be, and sure enough, he came in with Maggot Brain. It was just so beautiful. But not to give the problem child, it's like, I don't want to call him problem child, but let's call Mr. Hampton's antics the lead in this story, because it's the whole band, just the whole ship, as I was saying in the other video, just seems to have been elevated. It's just a whole different, it's just, I even turned around to Ole, I was like, they killing it. You could just hear it and feel it. It was just so sharp and precise, the execution. And then this morning I'm thinking, I was thinking, y'all can't win. I was like, they can't win. I was like, they can't win. And what I really meant to say was, well, really, after I thought about it, really turned into, you can't please everybody. Because even though the music it might have been a House of Blues venue, it might have been P-Funk in that kind of venue with that kind of system or whatever, because the bass was hitting, everything was just hitting. And the feel was just there in the room. You know, even though they have the barrier, it's still a House of Blues, and it's like a small, I would call cozy place. I don't know if it's the texture of the room or anything, but it was something about the energy. Oh, and the crowd. Oh my God, the crowd. There's like these funky, it's called Funky Funk Freaks or something group. And there's these Hispanic or Mexican people Mexican people here love Zap. That more bounce and that one way kind of wong. And there's certain music that they love. And I was saying, God, they respect it more than we do. Because this Funky Freaks DJ was, playing stuff before the show. He was pulling out some stuff from the, funk era, the fringe funk era, the funk era fringes and music from the time, that I was coming up or during, back in our era, and he was just nailing stuff. We was playing guessing games. What song was that? What song was that? And we'd have to go back, brass construction, brick, clear. We was having, he was just hitting it. And so the place was full of those kind of people. And so when you look back, it looked like it's mostly brown, like brown people in the place. But I also noticed that when Blue Eyed Extension was on, playing that kind of rock, that ding, 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 ding music, I turned around and the crowd didn't seem to be feeling it. They were just kind of standing there looking, and I get it. And maybe some of the more Caucasian music people or whatever you want to call it, they were getting into the more rock kind of thing of, not rock grind or that ding, 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 you know, how they pound on it. That kind of energy. And there's a few of them getting into that, but for the most part, they were just standing there looking because they seemed to be down with the groove and the beat and on the one. And then, of course, as soon as Mr. Clinton came out on stage with Blue Eyed Extension, the crowd went crazy. And it's just amazing to see. It still amazes me to see that, how a crowd would just go crazy over one individual. But I guess, of course, I could probably do a whole talk about how someone can be there to represent a whole thing. You know, we put just everything on this, not put it on them, but, you know, we kind of make them the focal point of the whole thing when we know damn well it's just not them. But it's easier just to, you know, because when he came out, people just went crazy. It still amazes me, you know, they want to see him and touch him and I ask people, you know, how, you know, it was a couple of people's their first show. I'm like, well, why are you here? And they, you know, explain this. One girl was like, graduated in '93. She was, yeah, I got into it, you know, when, you know, P-Funk was this and the Chili Peppers, and she was like naming how she got into it. And a lot of them say their parents, music, you know, they listened to growing up. A couple people I talked to, it was their first time there, you know, seeing P-Funk live. You know, I seen the old heads was there, Maggots was there. We hooked up front, did our thing. You know, so it was just good. In House of Blues sound system, I was third row. Third row might be better. Third row center. Back a little bit and center might be better because I'm like right there. In Mr. Clinton's face, I can see the whole stage, the horns, both sides, very clearly. And I think my shot at my view of the girls is better. I'm not too close. And I can like turn to the side and they're right there and they're getting it and singing. And I think it was Funkadelic, and they were singing. And it was like, they say one verse and it was just beautiful. You could hear Brandy's voice under there, and it was just beautiful. And I was just, singing again, and they, you know, Mr. Clinton switched the song. But, and Mr. Clinton was doing this, I noticed he started doing it during Flashlight. And I was like, yeah, I was like, keep doing that, whatever that was. He would go, or something like that. And then I noticed he would do it, but he wouldn't do it on the same beat. It was like he was like doing it, not subconsciously, but like almost, you know, just doing it out of whatever. And because he wasn't doing it on the same beat, he would have to remember where it was, because it wasn't like on the one and it wasn't on like whatever. It was like on a nice little, and he did it on a couple other songs too. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it was just good. It was just good. Benny Cowan wasn't there. The blue-eyed guy filled in on trumpet. They were killing. It was just good. And like I said, I don't know if it was me. I gotta go punch in. I don't know if it was me being all soft and just all happy and rainbow and bunny, but it was just good. It was just good. I forget where I left off at, but one thing I would say, it was a 2.5 hour ride down there. I left at 4. I didn't get there till like 6:30. But it was good to get down there because it brought me back all my NAM memories. That's where NAM is at. So I had been down there before, and all the memories come rushing back. Oh, I've been here before. Oh, I remember this. Oh, I remember that. So it was good, going down to Orange County. That 2.5 hour ride, it was literally 2.5 hours. And coming back was 50 minutes. So that just tells you something about like going down there to see the old show. You just can't. I mean, you can't. You gotta take the day off. You gotta take the day off and go before traffic and just be down there, get a room or something. That's just 2.5 hours. But it was just a good show. It was just a good show. Kevin Oliver, P Funk, Greg Boyer, Greg Thomas was doing the thing. I was like, I'm looking at Greg Thomas, like, he ain't gotta go that hard. I'm looking at him, I'm saying, man, you ain't got to play that good, that hard. That's just like ridiculous, dude. Come on. You gonna hurt yourself. But he started that, oh, it's just, he's singing everything, and oh, it's just good. Who else is there? Tanisha cut her hair, I think, or am I allowed to say took her weaves out? I don't know what. Her hair is just a lot shorter. I was like, oh. Gave her a different look. I was like, oh, okay. And Trey Lute, I gotta start. I keep short playing Trey Lute. Or should I say Mr. Tracy Lewis Clinton. I keep short, cause I hear him do stuff in his raps and stuff. It's like background stuff, but it's there and you can hear it and it plays a part. Because, with Mr. Payne, you can hear his up, what he's doing back there. You can hear him ad-libbing and yeah, doing all that, right? Where it's supposed to be. And then he go on behalf and all that, you hear him doing that. But there's also some ad-libs and stuff that I was hearing in, I think it was, and We Want the Funk. Or Flashlight, where everybody would just kind of, all the vocal layers come in, and it keeps going. And I can't everybody keep that roll going, like it's the vocal rolling going over keep the motion, the music going. But it was just good. It was just, but like I said, I don't know if it was me being soft and just happy with life and where everything is just rainbows and bunnies. And I'm just stupid happy regardless of everything. Because it was so good, I'm like, what happens is it gets so good, you got to question the testing equipment. Is the testing equipment calibrated correctly? Is the measuring equipment accurate? Because this is almost too good. The results are too good, and I'm like, oh, and I was saying, at the beginning, I was saying that. You can't win. I was gonna say, tell Mr. Clinton or whatever, like in a mock conversation, it's like you can't win. You can't win. And what I meant to say, probably as I thought about it, is that you can't please everybody, because even though the show last night was, you can't use the word perfect with P-Funk because you don't want to. And there were bumps and there was some few collisions and stuff, and that's needed if you ask me. You have to have that if you ask me. So when the band played as almost perfect as they did, and the music was played deliberately with intention and force, even though it seemed to be not rehearsed, but choreographed. It felt live. Even though we know it's choreographed. But so last night I listened to them play Funkadelic, and it was just so beautifully perfect, whatever that means. Perfect isn't a real word, but I mean, it's a real word, but it's just a concept. But so, and then I'm listening to it, and after a while I'm like, I miss the flubs. I miss the chaos. It's like you can't win. You can't win. You're not gonna please everybody, even me. You probably can't even please one person, the same person. On day one, they want something else. On day two, they want something else. Because I was like, it's almost too perfect. It's almost too clean. It's almost too, where's the chaos and the running around and all that part to it? I wouldn't even call that dysfunction. I would just call that what P-Funk does. It was like, the whole, like I said, the whole ship This went up to a whole different level of handling things that may have cleaned up a lot of stuff that we used to rag on, but maybe probably appreciate it in some sense. Like those 5-hour shows where they would just clang on for just hours. You know, we just get raggedy and then come back and tighten up and stuff be all over the place. Wasn't too much of that last night. Ain't been too much of that lately. Everybody seems to play their part, their role, they execute it. It's like, I think that's in the sense when I say the whole thing just went up. The personnel seems to be more, I don't want to use the word professional, but I really don't even want to go down that direction. But it seems like the thing, it's almost like it's been cleaned up. If you want to just say whatever. I don't even want to say that because I don't even want to go that way. But it's just the execution is almost too good for P-Funk. Because P-Funk to me is supposed to be a little sloppy. It's supposed to be a little chaotic. That's probably why I enjoy Mr. Hampton's antics on the stage. You know, there's supposed to be a little bit of dirt on it, you know, or sloppiness or whatever. But last night, yeah, Mr. Clinton was like, all right, tight up. He was like, they were tight and everything, doing good, but he still, at one point, told him to tighten up and do this or something. It was like a more direct, it was a command more so than just him just saying it to be saying it, it seemed. He was telling somebody to slow down or something. He was telling somebody to do something. And you can hear it. And I was like, whoa, okay. He was like, up, sign up, nope. He was like, you could hear it. It was a little bit more effort than I've seen him, you know, just bark out a command like that. And I was like, And if anything, when they played, One Nation was just so sharp and crisp, and the girls and Mr. Scheider, it was just so tight and crisp. And you didn't have Trey Fiel there. God's Weapon wasn't there. And I didn't see the laptop. And I got happy. But I was wrong. They had it hidden. But it was good, because even Poe Power, you know, and all that stuff, it's still good. But because Mr. Hampton had to play rhythm guitar, and it wasn't loud. He didn't have it like turned up real loud, but you could hear him a little bit in the background, almost a little too low. So he was like, you know, one of the only rhythm guitars. And Kevin Oliver played rhythm guitar on Maggie Breen, the doom 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 part. Kevin Oliver played that, and it was okay. It was okay. And because I saw him look, like I think Mr. Hampton looked at Kevin Oliver, and then he looked at Mr. Scheider, and it's like, who's gonna play it? And Mr. Scheider was like, he playing it. He was gone. He was like taking his break or wherever he was going, and he played it. And then, you know, it was okay. And then Mr. Hampton just came out and hit that first note, and it was over. And it was just so loud and crisp and cutting through. It was just good. Everything was just too good. I was tired. Third row was good. I had second row, but somebody knew somebody, and I let them get behind me, because it was like an hour before the show was gonna really start. And I let them get behind me. I thought they might, you know, just say hi, what's up, and leave. They stayed there the whole time, so they were kind of tall. So it was kind of in my way a little bit, but I didn't matter. I didn't let that bother me. Because I had to do with a family next to me, a mother, daughter, friend, and her friend, wherever they was cutting up. And it was just a good crowd. They were young and just spirited. Look around people. And the DJ music was good, because it was the Funk Freaks DJing. So it was good. So it had the energy in the room, and the lights were on, so we could see. You know, we could see each other kind of partying. And I look around, and I was just dancing with everybody in the place. It's just good. It's just so good. Oh, I can't get it nowhere else. And I can't get it nowhere else, and I get it every time. I was thinking, you know, I used to ask the band, I used to think about the band, how do they play, you know, Flashlight 1 million times a year for years and years? Do you ever get tired? How do they ever get tired of it? Then I thought, well, You be following around the whole planet all the time. You ain't got tired of it. And it does to you almost every time what you want it to. It takes you to that place like you had never heard it before. Better than you had never heard it before, because you never heard it before. There's that initial shock and recognition that you got to process to really fully exploit the experience. You can't, I don't think you can fully exploit an experience the first time. That's why when I travel and I go back, and all my travel experience builds. So my next trip is going to be better than the last one, because just from the experience and the confidence and all that. And so I guess as you play a song for 30 years, you're going to get better at it and hopefully introduce some nuance to it and do some stuff that, that's just from artistic output standpoint, but, from just the enjoyment of it, just from the enjoyment of it. Playing the music and the same music, playing Flashlight 50,000 times a year for 50 years. Anyway, swing on y'all 2 times for me and for the funk. For the funk. For every elementary particle or atom that has ever existed in this or any universe that ever was, is, or will be. It's about the totality of it all. An hypothesis of all as one. A theory of a mother funkin' universe. Nope, can't say that. I gotta say theory of universe. Can't put an adverb in it. Gotta be theory of universe, because that's everything. All multi-universes and everything. A theory of universe.